We burn our own energy without even realizing it. We are unconsciously draining ourselves while not even recognizing how we are doing it. There's a few ways in which we drain ourselves. The first one is inner conflict or emotional conflict. And we're simply neglecting the inner conflicts that we have. This is a massive burner of human energy, and it's a massive waste of energy. We are experiencing a feeling in the moment and we resist it. We don't want to feel our feelings. We don't want to feel our sensations, feelings, and emotions. We resist it, we push them away, we repress them, we suppress them, and that comes back to create a lot of mental health problems. For example, maybe I don't feel like I have enough time in my life. This is a very common thing. That entire experience of feeling like I never have enough time is actually an emotional problem. That is an emotional and psychological problem that creates that experience of not having enough time and always being stressed out, which burns a lot of our energy. I'm sure you can probably relate to that. We're not present with our direct experience. We're not present with what we are actually feeling. You see, when we are not present with what we're feeling, we're kind of defaulting to the unconscious, which basically creates a lot of resistance inside of us. Our body starts to constrict and tense up. When we're not feeling what we're feeling, our body has to tense up and forms all these holding patterns and defenses just to not feel. Right now, stop feeling your feelings. Just completely try and stop feeling whatsoever. Right? And notice what your body does. There's tensions, constrictions, numbness, etc. And it's actually not a pleasant experience. When you're not mindful with your sensations now, not fully feeling now, you're burning energy because you're resisting what you are experiencing. And that resistance is itself a burner of energy. When you're feeling mindfully now, your energy like recycles itself. You see, your feelings, your emotions, your sensations are like flowing energies in the body, and your resistance is an attempt to not allow it to flow. It's an interruption. It's a manipulation. It's an interference with the natural flow of energy. And it's an attempt to control it, which, like I said, burns a lot of energy. And it doesn't allow that energy to process or kind of complete its cycle and its rhythm. Whereas when you allow the energy to flow naturally, it kind of like recycles itself. You actually get energy back through mindfully feeling. It feels healthy. It simply feels good to process what you are experiencing now and to actually have dedicated time to learning how to actually feel. Because I coach people who don't actually know how to feel. This is a very common thing. They don't know how to feel their heart or their legs or their feet or their gut. This is a very, very common thing. We live in a very disassociated culture that is ignorant about emotional experience. And this leads to a very repressed and sort of traumatized mankind. So resisting your feelings in the present and avoiding feelings in the present burns your energy. And on top of that, not listening to your feelings in the present also burns a lot of energy, because instead of doing what you would naturally do, you force yourself to do things that you don't actually want to do, which creates stress. Now, what does this actually mean? Let me go a little bit deeper into this, because if I say, you force yourself to do something you don't want to do, you'll think that potentially, if I stop doing things I don't want to do, then I'm not going to clean my home, or I'm not going to do the dishes, or all my responsibilities. They're all going to go, right? I'm going to let go of all of them. You see, that's not really what I'm talking about. We force ourselves to do things in ways that neglect and repress certain needs that we have, right? Like we need to be productive, for example, and we're working all day, and then we go at home at night, and instead of having any time to rest, any time to process the state that we are currently in, any dedicated practice to raising our awareness, instead of anything like that, we just continue working and bring that momentum into our personal life, when in actuality we need to rest. We need to give ourselves something else. We deep down don't want to be doing something, and we have another need that we repress, which makes us sick. So what do you really need? What do you really want? You have to learn how to feel that, right? You have to learn how to feel to begin with. You have to learn how to feel that and how to actually follow the natural guidance system that you have as a human being. You have an intelligent inner guidance system. You have a nervous system that speaks to you, but you have so much conditioning that tells you that what you want is bad, or it's not going to work, or you're not good enough. You have repressions and traumas and wounds and beliefs that sabotage you and your natural self, which make you feel inauthentic, which also burns a lot of energy. Because when you're not acting from your natural self, you're acting from resistance. You're acting from conditioning that is restricting you in some kind of way. It's restricting a part of your psyche, a feeling that you're experiencing, a need that you have. There's all sorts of internal relationships that are neglected that cause the experience of suffering. And until those internal relationships, these relationships that you have with yourself, are addressed, you're simply going to keep suffering. You see, a lot of our suffering is just caused by relationships to ourselves that don't work. It's relatively simple, but to change them can be different. So you're not present in the body, right? Do you feel your body? Can you feel your actual heart, the internal space of your heart or your gut or your legs or your hands or inside of your head? Or are you just kind of stuck in thoughts all day, forcing yourself to do things, criticizing yourself without potentially realizing it, stuck in working mode, etc.? So we burn ourselves out because we neglect our emotional experience and our inner world, and that suffering is telling us, hey, look, it's telling us there's, right? It's like the sirens are going off, like something is being neglected, and right, that suffering is pointing us to change what we're doing, to change our relationships to life, to ourselves. And unless we listen, it's just going to remain there. So moving on, you have no boundaries around your energy. You have no structure dedicated to giving to yourself. To successfully integrate this information I'm giving you in this video, you need structure, you need accountability, you need time to integrate it. You need to develop yourself, develop psychologically, develop emotionally. You need to build resilience in the nervous system. You need to practice meditation. You need to read the books, right? The Way of Effortless Mindfulness, the practice of embodying emotions. You need to actually read the books, get into the body, feel directly, right? Like sit down and practice meditation. And unless there's, right, if you have no boundaries around how to give this good energy to yourself, you're going to neglect yourself. If you don't have boundaries around, setting intentional time for meditation, right? How are you going to process what you feel? But Lucas, I don't have time for that. Yes, you do. You absolutely do have time for that. You have 30 minutes a day. You have potentially an hour a day. I just don't have any time for it. Again, the experience of I don't have time for it and that stress that comes with it is itself an emotional, psychological based issue that then we believe is caused by external circumstances. Maybe sometimes there isn't enough time. Maybe you are truly, completely jam-packed on your schedule sometimes. But the overwhelming majority of the time, you actually have time. You probably just waste it distracting yourself, going on your phone, entertainment, right? A lot of people spend many, many hours a day on this thing right here. Hours a day. So that's a coping mechanism for stress and emotions that we don't want to feel. Instead of learning how to feel, which is going to alleviate us of our suffering and actually give us our time back, instead of doing that, giving ourselves what we actually need, we're just going to make an excuse like, oh, I just don't have enough time. Right? It's a thought, it's a belief that immediately shuts down the opportunity of further development, right? If you don't care whatsoever, that's fine. This probably isn't the video for you. You can say, Lucas, I don't care. I don't care about this whatsoever. That's okay. you can unsubscribe, you can leave. That's fine. Like, this is not the place for you. But if you're looking to actually transform your emotional experience and actually alleviate yourself from unnecessary suffering, this is the place for you. And unless you make time for it, you're not really going to get anywhere. Just like if you want to get some muscles, you got to go to the gym. You have to carve out time for it. You need to value it. You need to prioritize it. You have to care about your inner world and your inner work and your development as a human being. You have to want to self-actualize and heal your wounds, heal your traumas, process the repressed emotions that you have, learn to feel. You have to want to actually learn how to fully develop yourself rather than remaining stuck in unconscious patterns that are causing suffering. And you have time to do that. If you're watching this video, you have time. If you're scrolling on your phone every day, you have time. If you're watching Netflix all the time, you have time. Moving on. Prioritize your rest and what is life affirming. Right? This is a tricky one for a lot of people. Feel into what will give you energy. You see, a lot of us, when we're stressed, we just avoid, and that drains our energy. We do things that actually repress emotions continuously. We binge eat, we scroll on our phone, we watch Netflix after work, for example. And this stuff doesn't actually give us energy. It's a way of repressing feelings and sensations, which actually drains our energy. We don't feel alive. We don't feel vital. We don't feel clear. That's how you should feel after you rest. But we don't when we do those things because it's not real rest. Real rest allows our energy to basically process what we experienced. Right? Real rest brings us into connection with ourselves and doesn't disconnect us from ourselves. So feel into what gives you energy in this moment. Meditation, doing absolutely nothing as well, stretching, exercise, going for a walk, creative work, connection, reading a book, etc. Don't think about it. You need to feel into what is going to give you energy. You need to listen to how you feel more and connect with your feeling state. Right? You need to make your feelings conscious because they are controlling you when they are unconscious. When you are not aware of what you feel, it's cast away into the unconscious, or it's at least subconscious, and it's controlling you. When you're not present in the body and what the sensations and the sensations that you're having right now, they control you. Feelings control you whether you like it or not, but when you are present with them, mindfully feeling them, now you have a wider range of conscious choices that you can make because you're making the unconscious conscious. You're not a slave to the conditioning that you actually have. You're free from the conditioning that you actually have when you are conscious of it. So prioritize your rest and literally feel into what gives you energy. And the things that take away your energy, you need to have boundaries with them. You need to break those addictions that you have, those coping mechanisms for stress and emotions that you don't want to feel. You'll have to learn to process them in order to break the addiction. So moving on, let go of thinking about it and learn simply how to feel and listen to your sensations and nervous system. Right? Because when we're not feeling our emotions, when we're not feeling our needs, when we're not allowing ourselves to, let's say, rest or to meditate or to do nothing, we have a very valid need to do nothing or to read or to just like connect, for example. When we are continuously neglecting ourselves and not giving to ourselves what we need, we're going to feel drained. When we're not processing our emotional experience, which is a need that we have, we're going to feel like we are neglecting it. And it's going to manifest in the form of suffering. Just like when you don't put food in your stomach, it hurts. You can't live without food in your stomach. You need to actually get that need met. So learn to, let's say, feel your burnout and listen to it. It's going to tell you to sit down, do absolutely nothing, rest. Learn to feel your stress and your difficult emotions and feelings. Learn how to be with them fully and in a very present way, rather than repressing them, rather than looking to escape them. The repressing, resisting, escaping is burning your energy, and it's leading to more burnout and stress. And a lot of people don't really recognize it. They don't recognize that they're coping with their pain almost all the time. Most people on the planet are not very present to their experience, Therefore, they're not really making conscious choices. They're acting based off of their past conditioning and their whole human makeup that we got through evolution. And the primary thing that's going on is just avoiding pain, escaping and avoidance. And that's a massive source of suffering. So you have to learn to listen to the feelings, sensations, and emotions you have. And you have to learn to actually act on them as well. Recognize that they speak to you. They tell you to do things. Your nervous system is intelligent, and you have to follow the direction that your nervous system tells you to go in. Right? And the way to do that is to actually regulate the nervous system. Regulating the nervous system just means returning it to basically recovery from stress. When you're in survival mode, you're continuously stressed. And to just feel and process allows your nervous system to regulate. And then from there, you can actually make more conscious decisions rather than just simply escaping stress all the time. So learn to listen to sensations and emotions and what they're telling you instead of always being stuck in your thoughts and forcing yourself to do things. Like you need rest, but then you tell yourself, I have to do the dishes, or I have to do that, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. You need to meditate. You need to sit down and feel your burnout. You need to feel your stress. This can't last forever. What quality of life are you going to live if you just keep emotionally neglecting yourself? It's just never going to work. You're going to suffer for the rest of your life because of this. Emotional repression is most likely your biggest source of suffering as a human being. Emotional repression is basically self-inflicted psychological suffering. And this is like the core of unnecessary suffering that we experience as a human being. We're just repressing our experience continuously. So moving on, we usually get stuck in certain dimensions of our life, right? Life unfolds in cycles and patterns. We sleep and then we wake up, and then we go throughout our day, and then we get tired, and then we sleep, and then we wake up, and then we go throughout our day. Eventually we get tired, we sleep, right? You get the point. Or we work and then we rest, right? And then blah, 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 blah. Usually we get stuck in one particular area of life. Like let's say I work a lot. I'm usually afraid of the feeling of rest. If I'm a workaholic, I'm afraid of a particular emotion. It's a way of suppressing the feeling of rest or stress or sadness that I actually experience. And essentially, trust in your own natural cycles as a human being. Live in alignment with your real human system, which works in terms of cycles, patterns, and trust that, for example, you can let go of work and rest for 20 minutes and just fully sit down on the couch, do absolutely nothing, allow your nervous system to settle down, feel, meditate, read a book. Pick these up and read them. They're gonna help you out a lot. The Way of Effortless Mindfulness by Locke Kelly, and The Practice of Embodying Emotions by Raja Selvam. So trust in your natural cycles, work and rest, awake and sleep, doing and not doing, activity and inactivity. Prioritize what is healthiest for you in this experience. That's how you're going to get your energy back. When you're constantly stuck in one side of the cycle, you're going to burn yourself out because you're neglecting a need that you have. Our needs arise, listen closely, our needs arise in pairs. The need to work, the need to rest, the need for sleep, and then we gotta wake up, right? The need for connection, and then the need for solitude. Needs usually arise in pairs, and usually what happens is we get wounded or traumatized, and then we just stay stuck on one side of the spectrum. Like I always need connection, and if I'm alone, if I'm in solitude, I feel anxious, or vice versa. I don't feel safe in connection. I feel safe just being by myself. I can't flow between these poles and these cycles properly. I basically cannot actually I've associated the feelings of those experiences with danger, so I avoid them, so I repress them. So trust your cycles, right? Trust the natural rhythms of your life. Trust that you can let go of work when you need to. You can let go of rest when you need to. And get out of your head about it. Get into your body about it. Get into your nervous system about it. Get into how you're feeling about it and make those feelings conscious so that they're not controlling you. When you're not conscious of your feelings, they're controlling you. When you're not conscious of your traumatic responses, they're controlling you. Right? This is what's really controlling you most of the time. Survival, repressed emotions, and traumatic responses. This is like a massive element of what is really behind the scenes of human behavior. All right, that's it for this video. If you want to go really deep, you can check out my group coaching community, and you can also work with me one-to-one. Take it easy.